I've always said, if you're a business leader, you're not going to find the right answer by staring up at the ceiling tiles. Eureka, it came to me. It's engaging with other people, similarly situated, somebody who might challenge you, and they will help show you the path. And so that's a big thing that we see. Those who get out of their comfort zone into their courage zone, and they reach out and they're honest with other folks and say, I'm struggling with this, or how do I take advantage of this opportunity? They will find the answers. One thing I've always said, it's perfect because we have this school setting here, is in school, you're not allowed to cheat. You can't look off somebody else's paper. But in business, if you say, can you show me your paper? Someone will go, sure, yeah, let me tell you how I solved this problem. Why don't we as business leaders do that? I think because of all the years in school, it was like nuns slapping your knuckles saying, don't ask somebody for the answer. But in the business world, they've taken out of context, cheating is legal. Those who do that consistently, they are the ones who have the most success.
I'm really glad we're doing this podcast because we're getting some really insightful, bright people kind of giving us their philosophies on life and business. And, going back now and rewatching, re-listening, I feel like I'm appreciating them even more than I do in the moment when we're having the conversation. So this is nice.
You got all that? What I got was Jim saying cheating is legal and that we should cheat.
Welcome to, Happy New Year 2026, everyone. Tell us one thing that MSPs should stop pretending to care about.
Ooh, hot take. Their customers. Because I don't believe most MSPs care that much about their customers. Don't get me wrong, there's a tremendous amount of MSPs that do care about their customers. And there's a tremendous amount of MSPs that act like they care about their customers. But they don't take the time to fully go in and understand how that business operates, the process that they actually work through, right? Our job, yes, is to keep that company going. But if you want to build a truly, truly incredible MSP that is bigger and better than anyone else's, that creates you the financial freedom that you want to have in your business, that allows you to say that we are the best at what we do, you take the time to fully understand how that company operates, the softwares that they're using, the workflows that they have, how things happen in that office. And we, as the technology experts, can go in and help educate them on faster ways to do it, or being proactive, like there's a better program that does something better. That I truly believe is the most important thing an MSP can do. But if you took the time to really learn all about that customer, how they work, what they do, you will be so much more successful in the competition, and they will go from a customer to a raving fan in no time.
I like that. Yeah. Learning before making changes. If you have a conversation with somebody and say, hey, you just got hired at this new company, how long until you start to make these like sweeping changes to try to make improvements? And the answer should be however long it takes for me to be able to figure out that I'm going to do something that's an improvement and not some sort of detriment. And I feel like Harrison is saying that as, MSPs and providers of solutions. You can't just jump in and be like, hey, I care about you, so I'm going to try to make this better based on my perspective. You got to go in, understand from their perspective, then make the changes. I love that.
And I agree with it, but I think there's a little bit of a balance, because one of the reasons that people do the things they do, in a sense, is because that's how they've always done it. That's how it works. I can't necessarily explain why it works, but it's worked this way, so don't rock the boat. And I kind of don't like the idea that we should continue doing something just because this is how we've always done it. And so I think there's a little bit of tension between wanting to learn and understand. There probably are instances where Harrison steps in and works with the business and understands something about that business even better than that business understands it themselves. The business might be doing something because that's how they've always done it. Harrison might actually get to the root of why that is effective, why that's successful, so that if he's going to improve it, he understands the foundation from which he's improving. But I think that's really the key, is to not stop at, okay, you've explained why you do this. I guess that's good enough. I'm not going to touch it, so much as understanding why it's effective or not, why they've ended up in that position, and really getting to the root of it to then make that suggestion while still discarding that inertia element, and making sure that if you were to start over, blow up and start it over, how would you do it? How do you then meld that approach with the legacy approach so that if there's a transition, it's smooth? If there is a room for improvement, it's going to maximize the best of both.
What's the biggest room in the world?
The room for improvement!
Yes.
Continuous scanning is Nodeware's bread and butter. What's the biggest misconception MSPs have about vulnerability management, and how do you bust it?
I would say that the biggest misconception is that it only needs to be done once a month or once a quarter. And as we've seen, both compliance requirements and other things else, it's a daily, it's a continuous play. And if you're not doing that, then you're not protecting your customers. Things happen too often, too many different patches required, updates sent, that if you're not doing it, then you're not servicing your customer properly. Part of the misconception is also that it's going to cost a lot. We talk through and walk through what is the true cost of doing this, right? Because you're getting asset identification, right? You know what's on the network, you know what you need to be protecting and checking on. So it's kind of a twofer in that regard. And given that, a lot of MSPs might be charging $40-$50 a month per seat, their cost per employee might be $1 to maybe maximum $1.50 at the lower volume that is added to their cost, then it's not a big cost. They just need to be doing it. And the biggest thing is if they're involved in any kind of compliance world or cyber insurance, they are specifically calling out continuous vulnerability management. That's not once a month. That's not once a quarter.
I think this is a good segue into 2026. I think compliance has become quite a buzzword in 2025, and I think in 2026 it's really going to come to fruition. The reason for focusing so much on compliance, I think, is really going to become evident to those who've made the investment.
I just want to say thanks to Frank. He really got the memo. I love how he showed up in the jersey. He was ready to play the game. I think that was fantastic. So shout out, Frank.
And Happy New Year, everyone. I think one of the challenges as we've grown, as we've done so much, we talked about this before, how we do so many different things at the business. And I always use the metaphor of like the quarterback, where if you rush the quarterback, you have him looking down at the defensive lineman and not looking down the field. And I feel like the advice that I want to give to 2026 Matt and David is to make sure you're looking down the field, because it was the looking down the field that's led to all of this explosive growth that's necessitated being so involved in the business. Now make sure that you don't lose sight of that and you keep looking down the field so that you can continue the cycle.
Yeah, I like that. It's not wartime anymore. It's peacetime.
It's boom time.
Boom time. I think if I were to give advice to 2026 Matt and David, I would say to get more in sync. Now it's, boom time, it's peacetime, it's whatever. Like, we were running around with our, heads cut off like chickens, but now we've got a little bit of time to kind of see where we need to be. Like you're saying, look downfield, but we have to do that together. So we have to sync more, communicate more, be a little bit more in line with each other.
Since you keep mentioning in sync, ain't no lie, baby.
Bye.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.